Much everyone for coming and for our esteemed speakers and members of the roundtable. Yep. Today we are going to be talking about the digital transformation in grocery retail and the growth strategies and obviously about technology since we're tech. I'm really going to do a super brief introduction about ourselves and then we have a program, but we really encourage the members of the roundtable to start a vibrant conversation and not follow the program. Yeah. As well as I'm going to moderate the discussion and try to make it as engaging as possible. So if the people who are in the audience looking to ask the question, raise your hand and I'll try to let you speak whatever appropriate so that you can ask the questions. We have like the insane concentration of intelligence, grocery retail intelligence and retail intelligence around this table. The decades of experience with these guys, so I think it's very valuable and I'm really looking forward for this. So, few words about ourselves. So, company is Yango Tech. We have started few years ago to sell groceries online from our own dark stores in Russia. That's the country which is bigger than your country, but about 10 times less population, right? That business now generating over $1 billion in revenues and it become profitable. So purely selling groceries online. And retailers in our home turf started to ask us, guys, how do you do it? Like, what is that magic you do? And when we talked to them, we realized that we have the technology and the operational model, which is quite unique. Because many grocers sell groceries online, but very few of them manage to do that profitably. So we realized we need to offer this to the world, not keep it in our big but closed country and come out to the world. So now, as a part of this strategy, we are running the number of the roundtables in India, in Saudi Arabia, in Emirates, in Central Asia, in Latin America, in Indonesia, so all around the world and growing internationally. So here we want this way accelerate the speed of adoption of the technology and penetration of the online, from which we hopefully can make partners or at least friends in the region and eventually like a partner in on the technology side. Now, this is our agenda, which I suggest to not follow again, as I repeat. So we will start from the introduction, and I think that we would want everyone to say like a few words about themselves, about their businesses, and then we dive into the some trends and hopefully ask some questions and share the insights. So let's begin from this part of the table with the introductions of our speakers.
Okay. Hello all. Am I audible? Yeah. Hi all, I'm Arun and I'm part of the Tata StarQuik, which is the online business of the Tata Tesco Star Bazaar. And we are basically the Omnichannel, I would like to call, and I had operations for the team, right? So that's about it. We are based out of Mumbai. We are pretty much at West and South. You must have seen the store. So purely a grocery, store which has an online presence also. Right? Yeah, that's about it.
Hi guys, this is Sandeep from Vijetha Supermarkets. We are based out of Hyderabad and some parts of Andhra Pradesh. It is like 25 years old family business like kind. That's it.
I think that you were being a little bit modest. Like, how many stores do you?
We have 109 stores. Yeah.
And I think you have like all the 5-star reviews on your online.
Sorry.
You have all the 5-star reviews on your online.
Yeah. We are present in like, we are doing like 20,000 some.
Wow.
So hi all. So we run a hypermarket chain in South India, Sylcom. So we've predominantly been in the fashion industry since 80 years. I'm actually part of the fourth generation. It was started by my great grandfather. So we've just diversified into the hypermarket chain since 4 years, 3 to 4 years. So now we have 5 stores in total. We have a 40,000 hypermarket. Then we have three other supermarkets, and we're opening another hypermarket. We're just into this game, just 3 years, hoping to learn a lot. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Sachin. I'm part of Nature's Basket. So Nature's Basket currently has 34 stores and they're in 6 cities. So as a format, we are into gourmet and in Omnichannel also. So this is what it is.
Hi, this is Laxmichand Gada from Society Stores, 75 years old brand. We have 7 stores in Mumbai and 2 in pipeline, total 9 stores. We are pure retailer, what do you call a neighborhood store. That's what you can. We are in a couple of months, around 2.5 months, we are going omni-channel. And that's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Anay Agarwal. I represent Reliance Retail. We are a 4,000 store brand and we have approximately 850 large stores and the rest as small neighborhood stores present across India. We are also an omni-channel player wherein we are present in 400 plus cities with our grocery offerings. So that's brief about our brand.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the introduction. This is very impressive, the level of expertise we have at this table for our conversation. And I think that for those who are just going into omnichannel, that going to be exciting. But for those who are already there, they can share their thoughts and experiences, success stories on this front. I'll bring the next slide. It's a little bit small, like from this distance, but this is just the idea of a few trends, which I suggest we discuss rather than present. And like the idea here, we try to, we're obviously doing quite a lot of research on the market, on what are the technological trends, and we have like laid it out in the sort of the quadrant, right? And there is innovative things happening as well as the optimization. So innovation is doing something new and optimization is doing something old but doing better, right? And then there is of course technological work which is happening on the back end of the businesses as well as on the front end of the customer facing kind of side, right? And I think none of those can exist with the other one. And we spotted like a few trends which all the big consulting houses and all the successful retailers are talking about, and we're really keen like to hear your opinions on, guys, what you are doing on this front. So, for example, Deloitte is saying that 62% of the customers are more likely to shop at the stores which offer personalized experiences and personalized recommendations, right? Of course, the transformation which is happening is like the enhancement of this experience, and everyone is now trying to offer the personalized recommendations and make it really personal for the people. Obviously, with online, it's becoming easier than with the offline, but I'm really keen to hear the thoughts. If any of you guys have already implemented some strategies for the personalization, knowing how important it is and like what role technology plays here. So would you like to share, any of you guys, any progress on this front?
So let me go first. So personalization is something which is very close to us because we believe that at the end of the day, if you are not personalizing for the customer, then you are not doing enough. So personalization for us, especially when we went omni-channel, it meant that we had one view of the customer. So what they were buying earlier only offline, now we could integrate with what they are buying online also. Hence, our recommendations became much more richer in terms of both targeted marketing as well as the offers that you would give to them. So in that sense, your loyalty program also become much more richer. You are able to pinpoint which cohort likes which thing. And simply, if I talk about the app, you can always have personalized recommendations right in front. So a cohort which likes more personal care will be shown more personal care. Somebody who likes grocery, fresh produce will be shown fresh produce right at the beginning of the app, so that you can click add to cart and thereby convert. So that's the level of personalization we have been into.
And were you able, if you were to put like the number on like how much it increased your revenue and how much it helped you with retention, this sort of like personalizations and the streamline of the loyalty program, uh, how would you be able to estimate what is the financial impact of this on your business?
So I'll give you a number. When we looked at people who are buying with us both offline and online, we realized that their wallet size had increased with us by more than 33%.
Wow.
More than 33% of their wallet size had increased. So this gave us, and we were a predominantly offline store and we were moving into online. And there were a lot of talk that this was cannibalized. But the point that we were able to get more from the same customer helped ease our fear and then set us on the path to do the omnichannel.
When you say wallet size, this is like an average spend per month, per year? Or?
Yes, per month.
Okay, so in tech world, that could be like ARPU or something like this, right? So yeah, that's like a very, very advanced. I think I love giving an example of like really advanced technologies which we were able to do and share it. Unfortunately, guys, I think that won't be possible to do it in India because you guys have MRP, right? But back in where I'm from and in some other countries, there is no governmental regulation on prices. So what we figured out that there are like some people who don't care really about the price of the water or the sneakers. You can sell them a little bit higher, right? And then the other people who really, really price conscious, right? And why would we leave money on the table, those who don't care, and why would we lose the customers who actually care that much about the prices, showing them the higher prices? And this is all in the same like kind of app. You can play a little bit without changing your competitive position. So we called it the project Robin Hood, where we take it from the rich and give it to the poor. So in the two houses which are next to each other, this one is expensive development and this one is cheap, we were able to show different prices on the certain goods to not only different assortments but different prices. So in this house, which is like kind of less expensive, we would show sunflower oil, and here we would show olive oil, but the same chocolate bar in here would be slightly more expensive than in this house. And we were able to see that these sort of personalizations can drive the average basket size anywhere from 3 to staggering 7%, which obviously on an online business impacts unit economics tremendously. I see, Sachin, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, every format has a different requirement or different needs, but as far as Nature's Basket is concerned, it's very different. Personalization is offline. Personalization is much higher than online. Though 13 to 14% is a contribution of out of store delivery with Nature's Basket also. But out of that 14%, the contribution, 9 to 10% our customers are connected over WhatsApp. So there are personal shoppers inside store. Every customer is assigned to a personal shopper. The customers are more, flexible to talk to that person. In fact, what happens in our kind of format, many times there are some imported exotic products which are not throughout the year available. They are available 3 to 4 months time. So that time the customers are expecting that the personal shopper, they communicate, they interact with them over WhatsApp that okay, this product has come, please come and shop with us. So such kind of personalization is more in a gourmet format than any other value retail or other discount retail format. The other thing is that yes, what Anay just said that in app, yes, now there are a lot of technologies where based on your purchases it can suggest what you want to buy, or based on related products you can suggest that okay, this is a new product which you can buy from us. That technology is definitely here, but I think the sync of inventory again with those products is one challenge which still we all are facing. We have not been able to crack. I think none of us are able to fully crack that okay, what is there on my app is actually there on the floor. This is relevant for the people who are serving, who are treating their own store as a dark store and not exactly having a dark store. So lot of area of improvement is still required for to personalize online for the reason that inventory doesn't match. I mean, I'm saying at least 10-15% inventory doesn't match. So that's the area of concern and improvement. I don't know if Yango Tech resolves this problem, but yeah.
Thanks for asking. Definitely yes. Definitely yes. And may I also ask you, would you happen to have different sorts of cluster personalization, as we call it in some other parts of the world? Like, do you happen to have different assortments in different stores in different parts of the country?
Obviously, because see, the size of the store is different. You know, we have 1300 square feet store, we have 12,000 square feet store. So obviously, different store has a different assortment based on locality, based on regional demography. Also, there are certain difference in terms of assortment, but definitely the core, say about 1,000-1,500 SKUs will be there in all the store. And based on also buying behavior, the income level of this thing, also it changes store to store. Yeah. I think that this is not only for Nature's Basket. I'm sure this is for all retail. This issue will be there. If you are only online, you may not have. But as we serve from our existing store, so yeah, that problem is there.
Even hi. Even every locality has a different taste. So whatever is available in Parla East, which is a Maharashtrian area, and Chendur, you go, there's a South Indian public. So some stories keeping some goods and some stories keeping another good. So basically you have to cater your community whatever they required. And rightly said by Sachin Bhai that procurement imported goods is really a problem. So in 12 months you will get some things round the clock, and some things are once in a month or twice in a month or thrice in a month. So you have to keep the stock. But again, in the food there is an expiry. So you have to be seriously careful about it.
Laxmichand, do I pronounce the name correctly?
You can say whatever you want. Bernardo says there is nothing in name.
Thank you. Tell me, this complexity of different assortments in different stores, and also, so you have different assortments because of the capacity. Then you have different assortments based on the seasonality and on the area, right? So, how do you manage this complexity? You need to monitor the availability of your target assortments. You want to say that usually I have, say, 70 or 80% of what I want to have in the store. But if this is different stores, what role technology plays there, and which systems do you use? If I might make that.
See, change is constant, right? Change is constant. Right? So, what you are doing before 15 years, when technology was not there, right? 15 years, this much technology is not available at that time, right? So, what happens? The ground people are very important. They will write it in the diary. This is consumer's requirement, and you have to fulfill it. And the owners see that requirement is fulfilled in stipulated time. Maybe it is in 2 hours, maybe it is in 2 days, or maybe it is in 2 weeks. It's depend upon the availability.
So you would say that you rely more on a human than on the technology.
See, if you are not omnichannel, then you have to yes. You can say 50-50. Because the boy is standing on the aisle is very important, because he knows the pulse of the customer. As a boss or as a chairman or director or ASM or whatever, he is not going to stand 24 hours on the aisle. So whatever your boy will give you the information, that is 99% correct. That's what we think.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he's saying from his perspective very much right, because he's been able to maintain a very good inventory at society stores. Okay, but how do we function is obviously we have 34 stores, so there is assortment which we make, and then we set up an MBQ, there is a SAP, all that system is there, but it works 50-60% only. I mean, even today, for the said reason I said, there's still, there's about 60 fields to be filled for SAP transaction to trigger. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm criticizing one brand, but it's not a criticism. I think a lot of manual works are involved to set up that process itself. That should be reduced, maybe through a technology. It should just capture the sales of the store and generate the demand. I think that is something still yet to be developed with us.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah, technology is required at this point of time to ensure the improved availability for the consumer and obviously make it more personalized behavior.
So basically, sorry.
I think
No, it's
Arun
okay,
wanted
you-
to say,
All right.
I love that the conversation is flowing. This is great. This is great.
Yeah.
As we decided to drop the agenda and follow the conversation. Beautiful. Arun, over to you.
Yeah, I think, see, just to add on, I mean, of course, all of us, operate with different formats. Of course, that's why you have the assortment, varying in size. But I think something, to take away from what we were discussing in terms of, the inventory management, right? So for us, typically today, of course, our online is about 20-25% of the offline sales, right, in terms of the overall value. But then we do consider the online uptick and the offline, right, or based on the events, etc. And also something I really wanted to share on the, in full, right, when we talked about the order level fill rate rather. So what we try doing is that because the online has a lot of data points today. I mean, you have any kind of data available, but I think offline is when we come back, there's a bit of, gray area there, right? So what we try doing is that, or let's say you take a specific store and you process about n number of orders from there. What is the order level fill rate there, and what are the items you're dropping? Because offline business may not even know that the customer is coming to the store and they are not even getting it because there's no feedback mechanism there, right? When we started linking both of it, we realized that what he is not getting online, actually it's not there offline as well. And see, it is not that it is not there in the system, like we all spoke. Maybe it is there in SAP, but the problem may be that it is there in the back room. Probably the replenishment that day got late. Maybe the vehicle has already come. The GRN has happened through this one-click fancy mechanism, but it is sitting somewhere, right? So when we tried looking at that at a store level, because see, all these problems cannot be at a HO level. Like, again, they have to go to the ground level where people understand that. We started looking at each and every line item. We realized that these are the issues, right? And we open store at 7 a.m. in the morning. I really don't know which customer didn't get something and he just walked away, right? But online, we could actually map it. And I think today, I mean, the order level fill rate, what we see as a metric, has improved tremendously. I mean, see, it is again a one effort, one star, what we call it as a, effort align. But I think that is really helpful. And also to add something, because see, now some of those issues, sometimes there is some of the inventory discrepancies come in, right? We don't know offline, it is very difficult. That's why you have your shrinkage, etc. So what we've also tried doing is that, let's say an online picker is picking the item, right? And let's say 3 times different pickers drop something as an item in the online order, right? So what we do is that we just go back and delist that from our app. So that is to sort of safeguard that, I don't want to get some more orders and, have a bad customer experience. But it also works in a way that during the day, if there is any delta increment of quantity for that item, then it will again get enabled in the app. So what I'm trying to say is that it may not solve the problem completely, but to an extent, because at the end of the day, pickers are accountable for what they're picking and what is in the store, right? So these are some of the things which we have played around, and I think, see, catalog out of stock and I think order, you need to balance it. I think there's somewhere you need to find a sweet spot. But for some, I think to an extent we are able to sort of, but again, I'm not saying it's a perfect solution, but something we have improvised over the period of time. Right? Yeah.
I love it how you right away move to the sort of back end transformation, and you tie the front end with the back end. It's like really the personalizations and all the client technologies, they are insanely important, but they are as good as non-existent if your operations are not working properly. And here it brings me to the next statement. Live inventory, as per our case studies, which we have now plenty all around the world, can reduce the out of stocks is by 80%. And what out of stocks does to the grocery retail business? It's as per the Institute of Grocery Distribution, 37% of the customers will change the store if they don't find what they want. So And this is true for the offline as for the online, because in the offline, the customer kind of invests the time of going into the store, and if he doesn't find what he wants in his shopping list, that it's like his investment kind of not paid off, investment of time and whatever. Online, it could be even worse, because online he actually pays upfront for something that he expects to be delivered, and then he pays for it, and he waits for it to come, and it doesn't arrive. So that frustration could be even bigger, because at least when he travels to the store, he's not asked to pay for something that he didn't find. Online, it happens, and that drives the customer satisfaction down, kills retention and frequency. Do any of our roundtable participants have experienced problems with out of stocks in the offline stores and online? Guys, would you share some experience of how you tackle this issue of not having something on the shelf what actually is on the client app on the online? Have you faced these issues in your business?
That happens. I mean, it's something that you cannot completely take away. What you can do is make sure that your basis of inventory replenishment, which is the ARS systems, which is the auto replenishment system, is robust enough, and the MDQ setting, as Arun had just mentioned. Those parameters, still you are taking care of the hygiene factors. You are making sure that all the operational parameters that your store is run on, that is being taken care of. If those are set, then we find that the out of stock is as less as it can be. Of course, if you are running an omnichannel with a store where there is walk-in, you will always have out of stock on the app, and which is not there offline. But you can minimize it. And of course, technology plays a role, because everything now, because there are so many inputs also available today, right? And it's not just that we are an omnichannel player, that's why we have input. Today, my EP mechanism for putting a warehouse at one place has so many variables, such as distances, where are the urban centers, where are the demand. So there is a lot of data which is available today much more easily, and that is why your algorithms and everything have to be that much sophisticated to ensure that it accounts for all that variability. And I think that's where technology plays that role in putting your out of stock to a minimum, if I may say.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying this. It's I love when people really the experienced retailers are really mentioning that technology is the must these days, without obviously discounting the contribution of the human effort, right? And this is like what we always say. There is no business without people, but these days people, they do need the technology. But if you don't care about your people, no technology is going to help. Now, I want to involve our audience a little bit. So I think we all came to conclusion here that they say live inventory, for example, is rather important thing which can help you to reduce the out of stocks. And many of the retailers all around the world, we still face that their inventory systems don't allow to see the stock. They don't differentiate between the stock in the back room and on the shop floor, right? So now, guys, everyone who here belongs to a certain organization or involved into the grocery retail, those who don't have in their inventory system differentiated between the back room and the shop floor, can you guys raise your hand who still have a little bit of this issue? Okay, beautiful. In our roundtable, I think everyone can have the more modern inventory system. Yeah.
I'll tell you one more thing. We are discussing primarily more on the packed food. I think the out of stock, 60 to 70% happens on fresh products. The primary reason is that it comes every day. The store team, they don't do GRN on same day, and your system is linked with the SAP. If they don't do GRN, inventory will not be reflecting. Inventory is not reflecting, the product is not reflecting in the app. So it's not only the backroom issue, it's also, somehow or other you have to get involved manually Because the GRN system cannot do. Or you come up with something, where auto GRN is there. But 70% of this issue is with fresh products, then packed products. For the same reason, because there are manually, a lot of things are involved to ensure that inventory is in the system.
But I think to add to that, Sachin, I mean, see, of course, because fresh is generally, let's say, coming to store by 5, 6 or 7 a.m. And then, also the problem is that most of the times they get out of stock also in the evening. Now, your app still has to show something in the app, right? Because otherwise, in the evening when people want to actually place an order checkout, you may not have anything in the app showing up. So, something what we follow is that we generally upload a static quantity against these SKUs. But yeah, like I said
That's
again,
like virtual logic.
Yeah, but
you
again,
apply.
it is not an accurate, image of the inventory. But however, at times, because it is GRN, I mean, there's a store operational issue, right, where they don't do it on time. And sometimes what we do is that if the GRN doesn't happen, we just extend the virtual inventory for some more time, unless you get a trigger from the GRN.
But again, the manually you have to observe that.
No,
What
the
I'm
system
saying is
does it. The system does
Still,
it.
it
This
is
is the
not
system
fully operated by technology.
No, of course, that is true. I mean, you can only safeguard as much as possible through the technique, right? But again, if people are not doing it, there's some sort of discipline also will have to drive. That always comes in play. That is true. That is true. That is true.
So fresh is such a pain. It's I think the hardest category. Well, I mean, in our own business, we have 30 to 40% company, 30 to 40% of the penetration in the basket is fresh, right? And I think like 10 to 20% is ultra fresh, and those are the things which actually last from 1 to 3 days, right? So if you have, and in your online business, if you have not put it on the system and it expires tomorrow, then you just wasted your money right here. So we literally, and like let's say your hours of when you're actually selling it is like 12 hours, or there is like kind of the peak hours. So you get something delivered, let's say like around lunchtime, and if you have not solved it in the window from 5 to 7 p.m., right, tomorrow you are going to write it off. So if any of our, on the dark stores, there is no customers walking in, right? So if you have not put it on the system, it's not reflected on the client app, and you have just wasted money. And usually those ultra fresh items, they're kind of pricey. So yeah, luckily we have the technology, and but when we build the technology, and I think that it's very important to get it user friendly, because many of our everyone puts effort into the client app, into the front facing systems to make it great for the customer. But where many companies are failing to do their back end technologies usable to their people, and if they don't know how, average technology adaptation time for our picker is like say 3 hours. In 3 hours, you know all the main procedures. Take the goods, put it on the shelf, count, right off. So within 3 hours, even an uneducated person can learn, right? And then within 2-3 days, he can do all the procedures on the store. And because we actually understood, this is one of the most important people. If he is not doing this job, nothing else exists. So that's really with it. People in mind. I wanted to also hear like a few words from Faizan and Sandeep, right? So and specifically on this aspect of the business. So we were talking about what we are doing for our customers. Let's talk a little bit about what we are doing for ourselves, which is like the profitability, the money which we make. So there is a great transformation going on now in cost efficiency and strive for the operational excellence, not only to satisfy the customers, but also to satisfy our shareholders and basically drive the profitability of the business. So we have done one of the exercises which we do is business modeling. So whenever we go into like any of our partners, we build a full model and we estimate the impact of implementing our technology and implementing some of the operational models. And we saw that the errors in order fulfillment and in inventory management can add up to 25% of the total costs of the operation. And also by the research of Capgemini, 78% of the retailers believe that the automation in supply chain and operations can drive the profitability. So I wanted to ask you guys here, How do you drive to the profitability, and what do you implement in your supply chain and in your operations to really save these rupees, save these pennies for the business to leave something on the table for future growth and for profit?
I think in warehouse like we can't do like fully automated. We can go with semi-automated, like carrying the goods from the location uh, to the dockyard. We can't do fully automated. Like from like stock picking, it may we can go with like RFIDs, but it is very costly in India. We can't afford that as we have only MRP system. We have price regulations. Mm.
What about that in the replenishment of the stores, right? And how do you organize essentially the mid-mile and delivery to the stores? Do you see that you lose like some money in replenishing the stores from your suppliers or from your distribution centers if you have any?
Yeah, we have a central distribution center. Like we keep like three. Coming to FMCG, it will be like 1 month inventory, and general merchandise comes under like 45 days inventory. Yeah.
45, okay. And
Yeah.
what would you say is the fulfillment rate, say, from the distribution center to the store? Is that an issue at all?
Fulfillment rate. It all depends upon the vendor. Even the vendor should supply like his fill rate should be very good. If it doesn't supply, we can't fulfill to our stores.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
That's I guess that's something that everyone experiences. Faizan, what would you say on this one? Can you actually also not only have the groceries, you as well have apparel and the other components. Your number of the suppliers and your complexity level is probably higher than typical grocery retailer. So how do you manage this?
So actually, our fashion is completely different from our supermarket. So it's run as purely separate verticals. So in supermarket right now, since we have just 4 to 5 stores right now, our distribution center is basically in the center of the radius of all these stores. So even if there's a stock out, the stocks from the distribution center can very fast reach our stores right now. But in a fashion vertical, our warehouse is situated in Bombay right now, and our stores are in South India. So definitely there can be a certain lead time for the stocks to reach. But since it is not, a perishable retail, it's not toothpaste. We're not selling toothpaste and toothbrushes. Since it's fashion, we can, uh, it's not much of a big problem if we don't have that stock. But still, we keep a certain limit of stocks, like in each fast-moving article in this warehouse, and then if the MPQ goes below that, we get call those stocks to our stores. That's done purely by the ERP. So you have to invest in ERP also, in automation.
ERP are you using?
We were doing a local ERP. Now we've migrated into Odoo.
Odoo. Oh,
Odoo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. What would you say is the difference between, say, more of the international technological kind of ERP systems and locally designed? Like, what do you think is the key? How to successfully choose the ERP?
You have to work it out. It is our third ERP that we are testing right now. What works for your team? What works for the capability of your team? Either you have to. Only then you'll know if it's the capability of your team is the problem or it's the capability of your software.
How do you figure out where there is the capability, where the problem is with the capability of the team or the capability of the software? How do you figure it?
In the fashion retail, this is the third software we're trying out. We started first with SAP, then we went with another local software. Now we're going with Odoo. In supermarket, in 3 years only, we started with Navision. Now we're going to another local software. So it must be the capability of my team itself. Yeah. Yeah.
Not building the software.
Yeah.
Or
Yep,
if it is not done, then you have to use the software. So everybody's evidence is different.
Well, we are looking to release a small research in between our partners and friends in grocery retail, and this white paper is going to be the ERP migration. So who is migrating from what? And right now it's like still a draft, but it already looks very exciting. So Navision to SAP, SAP to Odoo, Odoo to Navision, right? So and we see like how many errors we have, so. It shapes the closed circles. It's very interesting infographics if you look like how I think you picked like a very right point. It's very much about the capability of the team, because I see some guys are hating Navision, they say, oh my god, this is impossible, and the other guys are saying, oh my god, I've never seen nothing better, I'm migrating into it, right? And you see like how is that possible? And those are pretty similar businesses. So definitely there is like something hidden in the capabilities of the team. I think this is for us, for the managers to determine and to work with our teams to understand and estimate this. Thank you very much for bringing this point. Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Yes.
And change management is having soul of that process, having implement this business process engineering and change management. I don't think it's the team capability or the software. Each software will have its plus and minus and how it adapts and how it gets tweaked to your processes is the change management. So if you have a key person at the helm of affairs who can really get down to it, and if you get the buy-in from different functional heads, then yes, whether it's Navision or V1 or SAP or Oracle, anything,
No, I totally agree with that, because I think a lot of times, we have done a lot of integration with a lot of third-party softwares for a lot of things, last mile, even for first mile. But I think the point really is that the way you are doing the scoping, which I think is definitely the product, the project manager's role, unless that is not clear, because a lot of times I think we have defined the scope and then you keep going back and forth in terms of we need more than this, or this is not something as per the. So I think there has to be one person driving it across the functions to get it right. That I totally agree with. Right.
Everybody is shaking their heads.
How do you guys find like these exceptional people, project managers, and those leaders who you can rely on? Do you have like some tips and tricks? How do you find these gems who actually drive our businesses? Like, do you have any secrets and tips?
More important is the sponsorship. I think what both of them alluded to is the sponsorship from the top management. So we do a lot of in-house, because Reliance, given the scale and size, other than the SAP ERP system, all our softwares are in-house. So you need very strong sponsorship from the top management down to the team, individual who is implementing it, to make sure that they understand that this is what you are going to live with. If they know that this is what they are going to live with, they will be more open to learning that and then implementing it. Of course, there will be always some failures, but it is then on to the sponsor to understand that yes, something didn't work because of a certain reason, and then go back to the team and don't just force them into adopting something which is unadoptable.
I guess that takes a lot of guts to give this sort of sponsorship. Essentially, we are betting our careers and reputations on this, and we give this sort of mandate to our people to kind of change something. And at the same time, that takes a lot of intelligence to make sure you don't give this mandate to something that is not gonna work. That's
and if I may add, sorry to digress, I think a lot of times these conversations about these softwares are happening at a head office without any much of a detailed inspection at the ground. I mean, look at it. All these may be used at the store at a ground level. There's a user sitting there. We never ask them what are their challenges. Is this even product is going to help you, right? So I think that mostly is a disconnect. So what we generally follow is that please visit the store, look at the operations, anybody, right? Any kind of meeting, we generally try to do that. I think that bridges the gap to a lot of extent, because that reality is something you should be aware of. Otherwise, there's no point in building something which is looking at an aerial view, right? So.
Yes, such a good point, guys. You're getting the value of this conversation. Everyone who's listening, you pick up interesting points here. You feel like you're getting something valuable. Great, great, yeah, great. Thank you very much. It's really good that we are creating some valuable conversation. Okay, let's go to the next point of the transformation here, and this is the big transformation is adopting to the evolving customer behavior, right? So, and I don't think that there is any country in the world where the customer behavior is changing as fast as in India. It's the level of change, the speed of change is completely unprecedented. People are changing their social statuses. People are adopting the technologies. People are the penetration of education is changing so much. And like us as the companies who provide the services to these people, we need to adopt really fast. And here we have like an interesting fact that IBM says that 91% of the top performing retailers use customer data analytics to personalize the shopping experience and adapt to what the customer wants. This is actually the short version of this statement, while the longer version is saying that those who actually fail to use it, they start lagging behind and they actually drop out. So there is a level of how to measure their performance. They drop out of the list of higher performing organizations. So adaptation to this seems to be the key, and obviously ability to rely on data and have this data is becoming the key. So I wanted to really pose the question to our roundtable members on what you see are the changes in the customer behavior, what is changing now, and how do you make this conclusion? Is it based on the data, or is it based on going on the ground and talking to, as you mentioned, to your team on the ground, or is it a combination of both? So how do you measure it, how do you rely on data, and what you see? So I think let's have one by one everyone to answer this question. Arun, if you answer first, please.
Yeah, I think, if I have to really speak about online, of course, the data speaks. And today, for us, we have both data, the customer data at online and offline both, right? So generally, today, if you look at, in fact, I remember when we started price matching with Daymart, etc. Wanted to be the trying to give as much as savings as possible. Now if you look at online, every brand, any player, everywhere I don't think anybody is selling on MRP. Everyone is trying to give as much discount as possible. I think the customers are also hopping around because they know that if they really compare their apps at any point in time, they'll always find something cheaper, right? So I don't know, the stickiness is definitely a problem I think all of us are trying to solve. But at the end of the day, I believe the service or the quality, I think that's what will, differentiate your service. Coming back to this in terms of, what we do, of course, we look at the lapsed customer both at the online and the offline sides. For example, what we try doing is that in an offline environment, if they are not purchasing at the store, let's say for about 3 months or so, then we try, giving them an online offer or, trying to, because it might be that, the experience was bad, or maybe they're just too busy to now go to stores, spend that time. So maybe the online, vice versa. I think that's something we try doing, and I think it does help us, right? And of course, we started with these personalization recommendations, which we try using across the platforms, because, somebody who's used, let's say, bought a lot on Fresh for that matter, and you also want fresh customers come to you again and again, of course, because one is a margin and second is the frequency of buying just increases, because if they buy fresh from you probably a week, I'm sure that they would want to come back to you every week because of the quality, right? So I think that does make a difference. In fact, I wanted to also mention that we've seen a lot of our customers who appreciate the way our non-veg assortment is, or the way the cuts are, right? So they know that this particular cut, what is for a specific SKU of a non-veg, is available at, let's say, Star Bazaar, and they try searching it online and place an order, right? So that does happen. So I think overall, that's how we use the data today, and I think it is helping us, right?
So I can kind of summarize it that they demand better service and higher quality, and we can say that the omnichannel is kind of becoming important. So you analyze which products they are buying offline and you make them available online to drive their traffic. Yes.
And see, for us, we don't really differentiate between online and offline. The pricing is exactly the same. The assortment is exactly the same. Because otherwise, I think generally there are problems that they go to the store, then like this is available online, something else, right? So we have completely eliminated that. It is the exact assortment, exact pricing, what's available online and offline. So that's how we deal with it.
Wow, wow. Sandeep, what would you add on this subject?
Yeah, coming to the consumer behavior from online and offline, like in online they just generally they go with only essentials like milk, fresh like meat and fruits and vegetables. Some the coming to offline they just come for like a monthly shopping or like a weekly shopping. They prefer like how they want to do some. Mm.
So you see that the online customers, they come for monthly and weekly shopping. So that's like you see
Offline customers come,
offline.
yeah,
And online on the
they just go like 70% like orders are like essentials only.
So
Yeah.
online are essential,
Yes,
and
eggs, bread.
offline is still like kind of weekly and monthly. So bigger
Yeah,
baskets
yeah,
are
bigger
offline.
baskets.
Bigger baskets.
Even we do get bigger baskets in online too. Yeah.
And what are your sources of what data you pull out from your systems, and how do you analyze it? What's your approach to the data management?
The data, like when we correct the inventory, we just look into the data and like if the season changes, so we'll go with the like which item should be placed in which season. We go with that.
I see. I see. Okay. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Faizan, it's your turn to comment.
I think one big point we missed out was the importance of human touch in the personalized experience of a customer, because it's not practical for us to compete with the Reliances and the Manis when it comes to the prices. So only thing where we can distinguish is the experience that we give to the customers inside the stores. So it is in our SOP that if a customer one time visits the stores, we should remember the name of the customer. And like, what was your name? Evgeny. So the next time once you visited our store, and the next time you visit our store, one of our staffs will be at the entrance waiting to greet you. So it is in our SOP that staff calls you by your name, assists you if you want assistance definitely, and gives you a feel of personalized experience. I feel that this is the way that we can be distinguished from the other big retailers, apart from all these personalized inventory assortments that you push out.
Wow. Guys, would you say that you would come back to the store where the store remembers you by the first name? Yeah? Yeah. I think this is like, definitely, that triggers some human emotion. It's like so simple, but I'm just thinking about my experience. I definitely come back to the place where they remember my name. It's like I do. Especially knowing how hard it is to pronounce them outside of my home country. You really put the effort. Evgeny. Wow, thank you for this insight. Sachin, what would you say about the data in the behavior?
I think it's a very, very important element for our business. In fact, what we have done is that every customer we have categorized through the data. We call connoisseur, epicure, foodie. So there are segregation through the data that and the offering also to those customers are different. Besides that, it also helps us on procurement. It also helps us on taking decisions. Like we celebrate every month with some or other activity. That is also because of the data. We design, this month taste of Korea, next month taste of Mexico. That is also based on consumption. In fact, the online trends are very, very different with us. Every month, what we recruit, first customer, like say suppose 10,000 downloads are there, but registration is only 3,000, which means 7,000 only download. They don't register with us. I'm just trying to give you a scenario of the data. If you don't register, you don't have the phone number. You have out of 3,500 place order with you. 2,500 they don't place order, which means that the percentage of conversion is 5%. This is just a number. I'm not saying you the exact number, but yeah.
We won't hold you accountable.
So then you work on that data, whatever you have, and try to recruit or try to acquire your customer in online, because that attrition is very very high in only online space. So the data is very very key. I think for any business and not only Nature's Basket. Earlier we have in one of the company we have done membership program only through the data. We used to arrive, okay, this person is milk customer. Okay, so we used to run program only for those milk customers. They same like some are egg customers, some are so the integration and the analysis of only those set of customers and designing your program according to that. And it has been a very very successful program. So I think data analysis and planning according to that is really really important in today's scenario.
It seems like from what you're saying that you really looked into data properly. It seems like you have quite a bit of data there. Like who are actually the milk or the egg customers. And I mean, you haven't traveled all around the world and haven't had conversations with like hundreds of grocery retailers. Very few of them even know the age groups of their customers. Very few would have this data. So really, like kind of. Really advanced data you have there, and it's obviously in compared to this region. So, would you say that you saw something that changed dramatically compared to 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and today?
It has changed a lot. See, if a customer walks in to my store, I think 80% of the customers are more intelligent than me. 80%.
No way.
Yes, absolutely. They will make us learn more. I mean, we learn things from them. Okay, this is the product I need. Maybe most of the time, this is the first time we have heard about that product, because most of them are well traveled. Even if it is not well traveled, even in value format, what customer makes you understand or makes you learn is very very important. Somebody said in the beginning, I think he mentioned that we need to enter what exactly customer want. I think that's a very important practice. It may be digitized. You can have something on a phone, but yeah, that practice is very, very, very important. And yes, so the behavior has changed, and not only it's retailer who is helping. It's the global environment, or the world is become more of a like a global village, and not only limited to one particular vicinity or one particular demography. So yes, it is helping us also. And see, recently if you see vegan as a category, it is growing 150% year on year.
Wow!
For us, that's like one of the fastest growing category. And if you currently most of the startups you name on D2C, I think out of 10, 9 are healthy. Why it is? The same was not there. One of the gentlemen is sitting here, Mr. Whole Truth. So I'm saying, out of 10, you see the 9. I mean, was that the case 5 years back? No. It was all indulgence. It was all snacking. Now, it's all about health. Which has been, see why the cola segment is not growing as it was growing till 4 years or 5 years back. I think post pandemic things have really changed, and it's changing very fast. I think all the retailers need to adapt it. Hear more to the customers. The more we hear to the customer, I think we'll be able to do it.
Wow, that's really insightful. All comes back very much to the customer and very much to the human touch. That's like what I'm thinking. Let me try again with your name, Laxmichand, right? Good? Correct. Beautiful. Thank you. So, I understand that you are not yet like a fully omnichannel retail, right? So, I'm really curious to hear, where do you get your data from, and how do you understand like what's changing in the customer behavior?
So basically, I told you earlier, we are 75 years young, right?
Wow.
So we know 5 generations. What? 5. I'm not saying 4, 5. दादा उसका दादा, पिताजी, लड़का उसका लड़का. मतलब अगर छोटू 2 साल का तो भी मान जाएगा. So 2 years young child is also coming to the store. So we know their entire house capacity, what they are buying, what they want exactly. And our staff is practically on the floor. They are trained that this is Mr. Anay, this is Mr. Shetty, what they want, what their family wants. I think that helps a lot. Like I forgot it.
Faizan.
Like Faizan rightly said, touch feel that the thing is. Oh, thank you. The touch feel is very important, and you won't get on online. And again, I'll tell you, one case discount is not not work regular. You know, how many times you are going to go on X, Y, Z, or A, B, or C. Whenever people want, they just walk in the store and they buy. This is my experience, as we are not on the Omnichannel. And again, we have the facility to phone call, write a order on the paper, and you WhatsApp it, and we send a delivery. So every day 300 to 500 deliveries already we are doing it. So basically, personal experience nobody can beat. But in this changing, again, the change is constant. In the changing scenario, you have to have both Omni and the retail. I think that will work more better.
Wow. This is very interesting. Do you mind me asking if you sometimes you personally pick up the phone and call to the customer to ask?
Yeah. Whenever I'm free, my best place is to sit on the cash counter.
Wow.
You know, so not for the what do you call, not for the billing or something like that, but for the interaction. What people require, what is their pain points, what is not available in the market. Yeah, what is that? Out of the way. It is not with the grocery. So we have 3 verticals. We are in the grocery, we are in the home, and we are in the bedsheet kind of thing. So 3 categories. People, if out of the way they want something else, we will tell them, give them 1 hour or 2 hour or 1 day, and we will call back. And 99% that query is solved.
This is the time.
And see, this training is from my level to the down level. It's very important.
It's so interesting. You said it's like.
And not only that, if customers coming in the shop, all customers won't get the best service or whatever. But when he come to the cash counters, definitely he will be delighted. That the place, that cash counter is so important. So madam, how are you after a long time? Couple of greetings with 1-to-1. And if there is any problem with any staff or he is not getting any item, so he will talk to the cashier, and cashier is the key.
Wow, that's really deep. This is really deep. It's oftentimes we meet the business owners around the world, and I see that again and again that oftentimes we meet the founder of a multi-million-dollar, and in certain cases multi-billion-dollar businesses, and they do go on the counter sometimes. Yeah? So it's and the people on the ground know them, and the customers know them, and we see that again and again. So the retail is so close to people. This is very very interesting insight, and so great you said that. As much as I love the tech, it's there are certain things I cannot beat. How am I going to beat that? Okay, so Anay, no.
Yeah, absolutely. On this point.
Yes. How do you collect your data and what you see the trends of the customer behavior are?
So, 2 things. First, before I come on to my organization, I think we have a fallacy that digital is fairly new in India, or we are doing omni-channel for the first, recently. What Lakshmiji has been doing for years. See, what is essentially digital, right? A person is calling, someone is taking order and delivering it at their home, right? And now he is doing also on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, you send a list, the person sees the list and delivers the order to your home. So we have been doing omni-channel. Kiranas have been doing omni-channel for ages. Just that we don't know how to measure or how to call it well. So you are doing omni-channel. That's the first point. Now, for an organization like Reliance, right, I have 4,000 stores. So for me, ensuring that we read the data is not important. It's not good to have. It's an imperative. If I don't have, the trends, if I don't know what is happening in my assortment, people are not buying for a certain amount of time, I need to take off my tail. I have stores right from 3,000 assortment to a 15,000 assortment. I have to manage all of that. I have to know the consumer pulse, which way it is going. As you said, vegan. Are we catching those trends in both offline and online? So that's where the importance of data comes in, and you can utilize it in various ways. So for example, something very interesting we did with the online data going into offline is we took the market basket analysis of online and made sure that the category agencies in the offline store, whether those are being updated as what people are buying online. So that was something interesting we did with data, and we keep on doing personalization, we keep on doing targeted marketing, we keep on doing those things to make sure that we are on the path of what customer is showing us. See, he told it in a very humanly way with the scale that we have. Sometimes you cannot do it as humanly. I cannot really know the name of each of my customer who is walking into my store. But what my store manager ensures that he knows he gets invited at least to 100 top customers' wedding. If there is a wedding in their house, he should get invited. So that's one of the KPI that we have for our store managers, right? So that's how you provide the human touch along with the data backbone that we give it to them so that they can make more informed decisions. I think that's more important for us.
Wow, it's very, very interesting and very insightful. Like one of the things I've noticed. So there are companies who bring something from the offline, track it and bring it online. You are tracking what's been sold online, bring it to the offline. So the omni-channel it is, like the cross-pollination and the synergies between the one and the other. Guys, we've, as I'm looking at my timer, we have done over 100 minutes now. I think we leave for the questions to the audience. If anyone wants to ask anything from the audience now, guys, anyone if have got any questions and ask our roundtable members anything, or you are already a bit tired. Anyone, guys, raise your hand.
Yeah, one question. I'm addressing this to
Would you also please introduce yourself briefly, really briefly?
I'm Sriram. I run this brand called The Whole Truth. I'm addressing this to Laxmichand sir, but I would love to hear from everyone on. Sir referred to how assortment is different in a area that has a lot of Maharashtrians, there's a lot of Gujaratis, where the demographics of the population is slightly different. How the customized assortment per store. I'm curious to know the process behind that research. How does one arrive at what's the right local assortment for the store? And what's the methodology for testing it, learning it, iterating it? How does that change versus time? Very curious to know how that happens, in the
Thanks, Sharon. See, generally, basically, when you are going to start a store in particular area, so you know the pulses of who's are staying around. So basically, I'll go a little bit down. In India, there's a ACC. All the world is social economic class everywhere the same, right? So basically, ABC, that is, they are my customers, which is 27%. So whenever we do search, what area is this? How many HNIs are staying around or near the around 3 or 5 kilometers in area? And if the area is dominated by some X, like Maharashtrian or Gujarati or South Indian or North Indian, then my product mix is 5, 10, 15% for that particular community. So they will come and love. And another thing is they will ask for whatever. Now Parla is, they will say, Pitla nahi ka tumchekade. You know, so my customer say, my boy is on the aisle or my manager on the floor, he will say, कि बाबा sir पिछला मंगाना पड़ेगा. So basically we have a system कि वो store manager कुछ order नहीं कर सकता है उसको, he has to order at the head office. So वो बोलेगा, then head office will search क्या you want or you don't want or whatever, and 99.9% we obey the whatever the store manager says. So it's very simple, yaar. If you put it in the ground level, it will come up. This is my experience.
We use 3 C's, what we call catchment, community, and competition.
Perfect.
If you use these 3 C's, typically it will come around. You will come to know, and as he says, of course, customer is always in the end the god. You are there for serving the customer. You are not there to build a very smart store, not there to build a very beautiful store. You are there to sell goods. So if the customer wants, as he said, in the end, you will get. The initial search is more about the 3 C's.
So Sriram, one person at Parla East, he said, "Mala ukdicha modak is like rice cake, which is filled with the dry fruit and Ganpati ke time par lagta hai, and we manage, mil jayega." So it's like that.
Yes.
And our staff is empowered. कि आप कर दो उनको.
Thank you very much to all the honorable speakers and our moderator for the session. So a big round of applause for all the speakers. And I believe it was a very fruitful session in this particular sector. So we will start now the I'm requesting you to please hand over the mementos to all our dignified speakers. Please. Thank you. So I will call Mr. Anay Agarwal, Reliance Retail Limited.
Thank you.
Laxmichand, Tata sir, thank you very much, sir. They are very popular and very photography. Arun, Shetty, sir, StarQuik, Faizan, Mohamed, sir, thank you so much for flying from the southern region to Mumbai for this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, Vijetha Supermarkets, a very big name. Thank you so much. Very promising brand in this basket which never was And I will request our Director of Marketing and Director
That's for Evgeny. Yes, thank you.
Very well moderated panel, and I am a customer to mostly all of you, especially society stores, Nature's Basket, Reliance here. Whenever I am in Hyderabad, I go to Vijetha. So it's a pleasure. I was there for the last 15-20 minutes, and it was really enjoyable to talk. The answers that you give, how to select the store, etc. This is for you, sir.
Thank you.
Very well moderated. Thank you.
Thank you.